Welcome to the Femininja Project. I am your host, Cheryl I Love, middle-aged ninja hiding in plain sight, dedicated to restoring human dignity one person at a time and helping you unleash your personal power. Discover that it's possible to look like a woman, act like a lady, move like a ninja, and think like a warrior. And remember, men are always welcome on the Femininja Project. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Femininja Project, and thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And as you know by now, the Femininja is all about overcoming obstacles, finding your voice, standing your ground, and finding your inner strength and that inner warrior that I know is in each and every one of us. And today's guest is someone who found her inner strength and power and unleashed the lioness within her. Her name is Haelee Moone. She is an entrepreneur, a business owner, and CEO of The Rules of a Big Boss, LLC. She is the author of The Rules of a Big Boss, a book of self-love. Haelee is also a designer and created her own clothing and accessory line that is complementary to her business. There's a whole lot more to Haelee, and we're going to find out real soon. So, Haelee, thank you so much for being here, and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
There's another piece of your profile I really didn't mention with the incredible things that you're doing and the empowerment that you've discovered within yourself. Writing a book, starting your own clothing line. You even helped take care of your dad after he had a really serious car accident. And you did all of this while still maintaining very high grades. You are an honor student. You were 13 years old and in the 7th grade.
Yes.
And when I was reading your profile, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel really inadequate right now. I mean, the things that you have accomplished are truly, truly amazing and so inspiring. So just tell us your story. How did you end up where you are now as a 13-year-old, a published author, clothing company, everything that you've been doing? How did this come about? Just tell us your story.
Okay, so it all started when I was in like 2nd, 3rd grade. It was somewhere between there. So I was 7, and then this other girl was 6. So we were supposedly friends because we went to the same school, we're in the same aftercare, and we were always like the last 2 people to leave when our parents would come and pick us up. I don't know why, but we were always some of the last people. So her and I had became friends, and one day I had went over to her house for a birthday party. I don't remember if it was hers or if it was like her friends or her cousins, but it was somebody's birthday party. And while the 2 girls were like out with like the adults and like entertaining the adults, we were in her room like with those little play sets that pretend to cook with. So we were playing with that, and then she had tried to like convince me to kiss her. So I had said no, and then I had tried to leave, and then she had pushed me up against the wall, and I had cut my arm on like the door or something, and it hurt so bad. But like I had cut myself, and she had tried to kiss me once again. I avoided it, and then she had put her hands down my pants. Once again, I avoided it because I was stronger than her, so I was able to catch her arm. So after that, I was able to push her off and push her on the bed. And then I ran out to where my dad was, and I said that I didn't want to go again. So my dad said, okay. And he wanted me to tell him what happened, but I refused to tell him. He figured that I eventually. So we had walked out, never went over there again. So since didn't let her do what she wanted to do, she started to bully me. She started spreading rumors about me, put her hands on me, and then in aftercare, she had caressed me. And once again, I was able to like away from it, but it happened that one time. So like it just got worse and worse and worse. And one day she had fake apologized to me, and she acted like she was going to give me a hug. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, hugs. So she was like squeezing me to the point where I couldn't breathe. Oh. So Yeah, so she was like, my face was like turning like a purplish blue color. And then my friends had to pull her off of me. And the friends were the older kids because I was always friends with the people that were like older than I was. So they pulled her off, and then I was able to go back inside. Once again, I didn't tell my dad. So then at another time, I was at the pool and I was with my friends. So um, she knew that I couldn't swim nor breathe underwater. So she had tried once again, since like my parents were like, they were too busy talking to each other. My friends had to pull her off of me and I had to leave with my mom. I told my mom what had like happened and wait, let me back up a little bit before this
Mhm.
happened. So I had went outside, I think it was like a cookout or something with my neighbors whose daughters were my friends. So we had went out in the back and we were playing and doing like bamboozle challenge when that was like popular. And then we had a little playhouse of these like apartments that nobody lived in and we would just stay there. So we were doing that like we normally would, just messing around in the neighborhood. And then the bully had came outside. She was younger than I was. I was 7 and she was 6. So like I had antagonized her. I don't know why I thought it was a smart idea, but I was feeling like brave in that moment. So since I was feeling brave in that moment, I was like, I had antagonized her and finally stood up for myself. That didn't go as planned because she had beat me to the ground pretty
Oh,
much. And I refused to fight back because I didn't want to hurt her. I probably got like maybe 1 or 2 punches in, but no. So my friends had recorded the entire situation and then had deleted it once they thought about it. And they were like, no, 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 because if her dad sees this, then she's going to be in so much trouble. And then we're going to be in trouble and we don't want him to get mad. So deleted the video. And then they had like got her off of me once again. So I was able to run inside the house and I was sitting there and I just asked to eat and just stay inside because I had a headache and I wasn't feeling well. So I had lied. And then that night when I had went home back to my house, which was next door with my dad, I finally told him like the entire situation and stuff. And I said that there was a video, but they had deleted it because they didn't want him to get mad. So fast forward, and this is like when the pool situation happened. I told my mom what happened. My mom at her mom, and then like I don't remember if they argued or not, but something happened between the two of them. And then we finally left. So after we had left, went back to the house, told my dad what happened. So fast forward just a little bit, just like an overall thing because the story is long. So just like a little overview, we had to go to court multiple times. We won each
oh,
time. Yeah, so I had to stay with my aunt and my cousin, and while my like taking anger management because that was the agreement with the judge, so that he wouldn't get like put on, so that he wouldn't be put in like jail and prison. Then he had to take anger management. And then he also had to be put on probation. So that was all. So I had to stay with my cousin and my aunt for a few days, and I liked it because I was really close to my cousin.
mhm.
So then we eventually had to move in with my grandma because of the whole situation, and we needed to get away from it because if we had stayed there, then I would have been a target for like the entire state and community because my dad caused a lot of trouble in trying to get me justice. So now fast forward to this is probably like maybe the 4th grade, and I made with another girl. She wasn't a bully or anything, like she was my friend, like she was like one of my best friends, but she was nice and everything. But the thing is, like, she was a follow along with the crowd thing. So when the crowd would like make fun of me and the guys would find me, I don't know why I was always the target. Like, but people would always attack me over everybody else. It doesn't matter what situation it is, the guys would always pick on me. And then some girls would pick on me, but a lot wouldn't because I was pretty close to some of them. And I was friends with some of the guys. Like I was make friends with maybe 2 of them. So they defended me, thank God, because I didn't have to do it all myself. But I was super defensive and things like that because when they would pick on me or get close to picking on me, I would automatically attack them and then we'd be arguing over something. It went on like this all the way up into the 5th grade. when I had made friends with this other girl, she was like there since forever. And she never really said anything negative to me. Well, actually, no, but like she didn't mean it. So we had that type of friendship where you would like make fun of each other, but you wouldn't mean it. We would just be like, oh, you're stupid and things like that. We don't actually mean that you're stupid. We're just joking. So eventually we had stopped being friends because she had took something to heart and I took something to heart and then just cut it off completely. So then fast forward to the 6th grade, same situation, except we had stopped being friends over something really stupid. And in the 6th grade, this one girl, she had took it like pretty severe too. Like she didn't bully me or anything, but she did talk like really negative. She picked on every single insecurity that she knew I had.
Oh.
And then tried to encourage me to kill myself. And then she had also come off the balcony. So that was the second time somebody had tried, which is like why I kind of regret like telling like friends and stuff like about the whole bullying situation, because like it happens. Like tell somebody about it, that's your peer, is I don't know why, but it always happens again. So I just started keeping it to myself after that. But she had tried to push the balcony and encouraged me to kill myself. So I don't know why I didn't see it then, but I was like, well, she was just joking. She was just joking. And then I didn't really give it much thought afterward. It wasn't until I had just gotten out of the shower and then I was about to go to sleep. And she had texted me and saying that she wanted to go back to New York. And I was like, why? And she said, she didn't have any friends here. And then I was like thinking in my mind, like literally after like all the support that I've given you through all the things that you said to me and making fun of my dog, making fun of my family, my little god siblings, making fun of literally anything. Like once she knew that she couldn't really get to me about my physical appearance or my emotional appearance anymore, because I was just like over it, because I was like, okay, you know what? You've already said everything. And I already took that to heart. She started to make fun of other things I'd be defensive about. So even after all of that, I still stayed friends with her because I knew that she was going through some issues and I forgave her for it. So I was like, after all of that, you still say you don't have. Okay. And then she said, no, I didn't mean it like that. And I was like, no, you definitely meant it, because this isn't the first time you have said it. So I had finally cut it off for good. And then right before I went to sleep, I was just thinking about it. And I was like, wow, she was never really a good friend to begin with. Like, why did I even be friends with her? And I was just like overthinking the entire situation and thinking about the past situations that have happened with popular friends and things like that. So yeah, I just had kind of like a reflection thing after that had happened and went to sleep, came back to school. Of course, she tried to be friends with me again. And I was like, no, I'm good. Like we were cool, but we weren't friends. So no arguing or anything. But I eventually said, you know what? I can't even be cool with you. I don't want any association with you, whatever. So I had told her that and she got mad. And I was like, no, like she got mad at every single thing. Like I was just like, you know what? Just cut ties, period. I don't want to deal with the situation anymore. I just want to move on. So of course she couldn't handle that. So because like every few months, she always pops up and starts to text me. And I eventually remember, but she found my Instagram ways. Oh. And I know she knew me, so she couldn't say that it was a joke because my face was in my profile picture and my name was in my, and like my name was all over it, and so was my face. So you can't say that you did me. And then my bio like literally has me in it. Like my personality is like in that bio, like it reflects me. So I had decided it was a good idea to DM her something stupid. Like I had said, no follow for you, heart emoji, and then I blocked her. I just felt the need to say that, and I'm still proud of it. Probably not smart, but I'm proud of it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, she didn't come back after that.
Actually, I think that was a brilliant thing for you to do. No argument, no nothing, no follow, heart, still love you, but get out of my life. So yeah. I think that was very brave. It was courageous and it was very smart.
Yeah. So after I had blocked her, I found every single account that she had that she thought I didn't know about, but I did. I knew that she had them because I found them before. I've seen them before. So I blocked her spam accounts. I blocked her Finstas. I blocked her main one. I blocked every last one of them. Blocked her on every single social media platform. So she had nothing to contact me on. And she hasn't came back ever since. And it's funny because like they always call me the toxic ones, like the people who I stopped being friends with, but like they're the ones who always come back, not me. And I'm always the one who like cuts off the toxicity and then they get mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, situation has like occurred very, very often. But it has gotten a lot easier for me to cut things off because just recently, like just a short story, I knew this girl from school, but I only talked to her and was friends with her for like maybe 2 weeks. And she had just become really toxic. I noticed the tendencies because I've seen her. So I was like, nope. So I cut it off. But before I did that, I had asked one of my older friends who was in high school, who I knew since like forever. And she had told me to just post on my story that I'm going to start cutting people off and once you stop responding to them. So luckily she caught on right away and I didn't even have to say a word to her. So after she had replied to my story, I just left her on red and then I blocked it. I was going to have a conversation, but then I thought about it and I was like, nope, not smart. Let me leave quietly. So I blocked it. And this situation has occurred pretty often because I found that if you like leave silently, where you tell people like why you're not friends with them, it never ends well. So just leave silently. She didn't get mad. I didn't get mad. It was just cool.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good. That was good. I'm so happy about that.
I'm happy for you because I think that was really smart. And I like the way that you said, you just kind of cut it off. You don't drag it out. There's no drama because I think that's what a lot of these people are looking for. And it's not just in your age group. I mean, even adults that I know who behave this way, it's true. I mean, it's unbelievable. But they're looking to drag it out and have the drama and the trauma of trying to end a friendship or a relationship. I mean, it's sick. It's kind of pathologic.
Yeah. So, like with all of that, I noticed that once I cut off all of that toxicity, I realized my mistakes and how I needed to be nicer and stop being so blunt because I'm a very blunt person. So if you ask me something, I'm just going to tell you straight up. I don't sugarcoat literally anything. You can ask, what do you think about this person? Like, what do you think about my crush? I'm just like, he's ugly. Or I'll just say like flat out, I don't like him. And then if their crush will talk to me, I'll just say, don't talk to me. Like, I would try to be nice about it, but I can't do it. Like just trying to just be so nice about it. Like I wouldn't say it irritates me, but I just can't do it. I just have to tell the truth because if I beat around the bush, I'm gonna end up not saying it.
Mm-hmm.
So I say it straight up. But like that's so mean. You can't do that. And I'm just like, okay. So I watch my words with some people, but most people I don't because if you don't deserve it, I'm not going to. So I only censor myself around certain people.
Mm-hmm.
So once I realized my mistake and I realized other people's mistakes and the red flags I needed to notice. Then that's like when I started to get a lot more book sales, a lot more interviews. My confidence had went up like by 100, even though it was already pretty high before. Like you couldn't tell me anything, and you still can't because I'm always gonna like reflect it back on you. Like every time somebody says something negative about me, one thing that I like to say is like in a world of no's, there's always that one yes. Or in like a world filled with yeses, there's always that one no. So if everybody is telling me that I'm this and that I'm that and that I'm this and it's positive, and then that one person tells me that it's negative, who do you think I'm going to believe? It's actually pretty funny.
So when did you decide to write the book? I mean, through this entire process, when did it occur to you that maybe you should write this down and all of the things that you learned along the way with these relationships? How did that come about?
This was probably like in the middle of like cutting off the recent ones, but I had gotten like the idea. My fourth grade teacher, when she was talking about her daughter's friend and how her daughter's friend had written this book and she was traveling all over the world and signing books. And I was like, here I am arguing and acting up in class. And here she is like writing books and doing so many things, like making money. Yeah, here I am in the office, like almost all the time arguing with somebody, having to have my parents come up here because I argue too much and I can't keep my mouth shut. So I was like, here I am. So I was like, okay. So eventually I wanted to write one, but I didn't know what to write about. So in the midst of all of this happening, that I've mentioned, it really all started out as a journal. I listed like things that I did to like gain up at least a little bit of confidence, and then a little bit about my situation, what I've done. And then I shared it with my dad and my mom, and they were the ones who told me that it should be a book.
And when did you publish? It was pretty recently, right?
I'd say it was maybe late June, early July.
And how did you come up with that title? Because I love the title.
Okay, so the rules of that came from oh, okay. Amber Rose's book. It's called How to Be a Bad Word I Cannot Say. So yeah. So in this one chapter, she had written down all of these rules that she followed to get where she was today, which is, I think she's a supermodel. I don't remember. But she had wrote down all of these rules. And I was like, the rules that I was gonna like do it in like the order that her book was in, like with the chapter and then rules in one chapter. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna make like chapters, the different rules. So Big Boss, that came from a Instagram live. Her name is Dajae, and she has this, like, I think she has a podcast now. I don't really remember. I don't follow her long anymore.
Mm-hmm.
She used to have like these girl talks on her Instagram live, and where she asked all of these questions that she would answer and give us the best advice that she could. Called herself a big boss. And I was like, the rules of big boss. So that's where I came up with it.
And then, okay, so you've got the book, and the book is about self-love.
Yes.
And so the rules are, as a matter of fact, I think I wrote down rule number 1. So rule number 1 is about finding yourself and to like and find what is comfortable for you.
Yes.
Can you say a little more about that and what that means to you, and how other people can use this information for themselves?
Yeah. So pretty much with like, to me, finding yourself means like not going along with the crowd. I mean, if you want to go along with the crowd, that's you, but I'd say don't do it. Just follow your own path, do what you want, and follow your own way. So follow your own way and just like learn yourself. So I feel like the only way to find yourself is to find what isn't you. So like I'd say maybe go along with the crowd first, and then once you learn that that isn't you, or some of the things that they're doing isn't you, then you're going to start to realize that who you are, because it starts to help you form who you are and finally realize it. So to me, I feel like it means going along with something and learning that it isn't you.
Mm-hmm. Do you think, especially in your age group, that it's kind of hard to do that, to go against the crowd? Because again, even as adults, we like to get along and go along and not to make too many waves. But do you feel that's really hard, especially for teenagers and younger people, to do?
I'd say it really depends on the person. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Most of the times it definitely is hard, but some of the times, no, not really. Personally, like just a short story with me and my friends, it's a lot easier for us to do because we don't really care. So if you're at that point where you don't really care what, like if there are certain rules that just aren't reasonable, we don't care if we go against it because it's not reasonable to us. And if what people aren't doing isn't reasonable, we're just not going to do it. So just having that mindset is like, well, I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. So that was just like our mindset. And if you naturally have that mindset, then it's just comes easier to you. But eventually, some people, you have to acquire it. So you have to train yourself to not go along with that. So just think about your own morals and then just go along with what fits your morals.
So it's basically awareness and mindset and making choices.
Yes.
Words of wisdom from a 13-year-old. That's amazing. So you are also a designer, and you did create this clothing line. And tell us a little bit about it. You have some incredible merchandise. I was looking at it. So tell us about that.
So the purpose of the clothing line is to help promote the book, and the book is to help promote the clothing line. So like the clothing is like empowerment clothing. So on some of the shirts, it'll have like the rules, and it'll be saying like self-love, or something like that. I can't remember everything off the top of my head, but that's that one thing that just stuck in my mind that I can remember. I actually just wore the shirt yesterday, but so I have just a little bit, because I'm not gonna share everything. So
Okay.
just a little that's on there is the tote bags. We have mugs, shoes, and then we also have clutch bags. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Well, we'll leave it at that, because then the audience will be very intrigued when they hear this, and they're going to want to go to your website and check out everything that you've got, because I could have spent a lot of time on that one page today. It was wonderful. Let me see. So tell us about some of the other things that you like to do when you're not being a big boss, or when you're not at school making high honors. What do you do for fun?
I personally just like to sit in my bed and just like, I like to have if I have straight hair, I'll have like wrapped and put up in like my bonnet and nicely wrapped so that it stays straight. Or if it's curled, just put on my curls and put on a bonnet and watch TV. Or if I feel like having my hair down, I'll just put it up into like a bun, or put it into like a hair clip, and then just watch TV and like an oversized t-shirt and shorts or something like that. But I like to be super comfortable when I'm at home. I really don't see how people can have like full on clothes on and lay in the bed. It's just uncomfortable. So I prefer to like be reading on one of my favorite apps. It has like a bunch of romance books and stuff like that. So I love reading romance novels. I like to listen to music. I listen to music 24/7. Like I barely ever turn it off. When I'm reading, music, doing homework, music. I'm always listening to music no matter what I do. So that's like probably my favorite thing. And if I'm not doing that, I'm like practicing different hairstyles and like practicing how to like design like nails on like those press on type things, and how to do like makeup and different things with that. I'll randomly out of nowhere just hop out of the bed, get dressed, and then get undressed, go right back in the bed. Or I'll just make up outfits. So I really just do whatever just appeals to me at the moment. What video games, binge watching a Netflix TV show. I really just like chill out all day pretty much.
When you're not working and studying. Well,
yeah.
Okay, that's good to know, because I was like, oh my goodness, I wonder if she works 24/7, but you don't. You do give yourself some downtime as well.
Yeah.
You design a lot of your own merchandise, is that correct?
Yes.
So you do have that talent. You're very creative, obviously. However, you already have plans for the future. So what are your plans?
Just brief, because as I like to say from like Cinderella, I always quote this when people ask, but if you tell a wish, it won't come true. So I stick to that Cinderella mindset, but just a little bit about it is like overall, I at least want to be in a TV show. I plan to go to law school, become a lawyer, become a judge, and then have my own law firm. So yeah, so that's just a little bit. I plan to do a lot more than that. All I know is I want to be like super wealthy and set my future adopted kids up for success, and my future grandchildren, and so on.
You've got it all planned out. You truly are a powerhouse.
Yeah.
I just love the way you think. So what kind of advice? All right. So you're a teenager. You've got a lot figured out. So a lot of times adults, when they're talking to the younger generation or teenagers, I think sometimes they have a tendency maybe to talk down to them a little bit, or to lecture them, or blah, 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 blah. And a lot of times we don't really we as adults don't listen to the kids and what they can teach us and what they can tell us. So do you have any thoughts about that, or anything that you want to share that, maybe adults need to be able to sit back and be quiet and listen a little bit more closely and a little bit more carefully?
A lot, actually.
Oh, good.
Question. I have been waiting for somebody to ask me this. But, most teenagers are in the room a lot. people are like, you need to go outside, go do something. When I was your age, I was out playing with mud. I was out doing this. I was out doing this. And the thing is, like, just remember, we're not you. Like, this is a different generation. We're technology based. We seem like we act like a lot older than we are. And that's just because of how times are nowadays. Like social media standards, societal standards, like the pressure of school, it's a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
So, and one major reason that we're always inside a room at like late at night, just hanging out by ourselves in silence, or like, why? Is because like that's like our only time to actually truly be by ourselves. Because and if it's in the morning, a parent is coming in saying, go do the dishes, go do this, go do that. Or you're in school and you're just doing something. You always have something to do throughout the day. So when it's late at night, the only time you get to have to yourself. So just let people have their alone time. And then also mental health. Like they're like, you're too young to be feeling this way. You don't need a break off from school. You don't need this. You don't need that. You don't know that because they might not tell you everything. So if they say that they need a mental health break, I'd say just sit back, just listen, and give them a break ever so often if they feel I need it. So, and also don't force them to go to therapy, because if you try to force them to talk, they're not going to. That's just like bottom line. You can't force anybody to talk what they don't want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So those are two main things that like just really just stick with me 24/7.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for sharing that, because I always wonder, it's all, even when I was a kid, well, we didn't have this, we didn't have that. You need to go outside more. You need to do this and don't be alone. And, it's like, why not? I need my downtime too. And I know a lot of times when I was a teenager and everybody else was in bed, I would stay up and stay in the family room and just like watch the movie of the week just so I could be by myself. I have 4 sisters, so there was no such thing as alone time. It's pretty hard to get quiet time anywhere in that house, but it was great. But you just always need your alone time. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I also wanted to ask you, because of course, everybody talks about this, the year of the COVID, and how that impacted, not only you, but of course your friends, your peers, your classmates. Are you in school right now, or are you still doing remote learning?
I'm still doing remote learning.
And so how does that impact everybody's, mental health, their mood, their outlook, and everything like that? Because instead of being, able to talk to people face to face, you're doing it through screens.
Well, I know a lot of people who have social anxiety, and with those people, they're fine. Like they love being by themselves and being at home. Love it. But other people who are like social butterflies who just need to be around people, those people, it definitely did take a toll on them. From what I've noticed is they can't see anybody, they can't be around their friends. And I know personally, I tend to like be like the center of attention because I like having a lot of attention on me. So I was always that one person like talking in class, like always raising my hand, like, hey, I have a question, I have a question, I have a question, I have something to say, I have something to say. Can I go to the bathroom? Just so I can just so that I can go off and show off my outfit. I always had something to say. I wasn't a class clown, but I definitely did talk a lot in class. So I know, like, even though I can't do that anymore, I still have the chat. That's the thing. I still have the chat, meaning unless they turn it off, I can still talk. I can still talk. Mm-hmm. And I still have things to say. I don't care what situation it is. I will always have something to say. So personally, I'm fine with it because I like being by myself, but I can talk to people, but I love being by myself too. Mm-hmm. So it matters to me because regardless, I'm either going to talk or I'm going to be silent if I want to. And that's not the same for a lot of people, because I know when COVID had first started to have us quarantine, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't see my friends. Oh my gosh, I can't like do this. I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't go places. I can't go off to the park. I can't go to this adventure park that I really wanted to go. So I can't do this. I can't do that. I have to wear a mask. I have to do this. And always just like complaining about something I couldn't do what I was normally used to. So a lot of people are still upset about that, but a lot of people have like adjusted to it. And it's actually helped better their mental health because they finally get that alone time and they're not in that toxic environment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Excellent. So how can people find you? Find your book, find your website?
You can find me on social media on almost all platforms, which is My YouTube is The Rules of a Big Boss, voice crack. On Instagram and Facebook, it is the Book of Self-Love 2020. And then my website is www.thebookofselflove.com.
Haelee, thank you for being here and sharing your words of wisdom. I think you are so amazing. I'm going to be following you. I'm going to be stalking you. That's what we ninjas do. So I'm going to be stalking you from a distance just to, keep track of your progress and stuff. And what I would really love is maybe, a couple of months down the road, if you'd like to come back on the show, let us know how you're doing, how things are progressing. And, you're one of my Femininja All-Stars. I would love to have you back anytime.
Okay. I'll be back.
Okay, thank you. And everybody, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. And make sure that you check out Haelee's website, check out her book, her social media. This young lady is a phenom. I am just so excited to talk to her and just to watch her go through life. I wish I was that smart when I was 13. I wish I was that smart now, but she's just amazing. So remember to look out for those toxic relationships, listen to yourself, give yourself some self-love, and that is the way of the Femininja. And that's a wrap on another episode of the Femininja Project. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, be safe, be strong, and until next time, bye now.